Hello, and welcome to ASI Wares version 3.19.3.1 release notes. Um, in this release, there's, I wouldn't call it necessarily new functions, but changes to existing functionality uh, that we're going to talk about. The seventh one you could call new functionality, but we'll get to that when we get there. Uh, there are 7 items that this video covers. One is the case manager's homepage. We added some nice functionality to it. Placement automated emails. These are the emails that are sent when staff makes a placement of a kid. We've changed some of those, some real nice changes on those. The next change has to do with the foster home screen. We've actually built a new table maintenance page. And then the print forms for foster home requirements. The print forms will naturally say license start date, license expiration date, license initial date. We built a second set of forms where we replace the word license with approval. So those print forms will actually, instead of saying initial license date, they'll say initial approval date. Instead of saying current license date, say current approval date, and so on. The next change has to do with referrals, and then the last one is with the client care module. So let's take it before we get to the system. Let's just step through the rest of this PowerPoint show. On the caseworkers page, case manager's homepage, when they did their pull over menu, this little thing that pulls over the menu, they had a link called requirements. And before, the only thing they had on here was the stuff below this foster home requirement list. We added a dashboard. All right, now this dashboard view, and it's pretty much a dashboard view of everything below, will only pertain to the homes that have their children. Right. This slide shows what the dashboard looks like, and we'll be going over that when I switch over to the system. So that's the change on the caseworkers homepage. Going to save them a lot of time, uh, and it's again called a dashboard for requirements. Next change is the automated emails. We've added quite a few of the standard fields to those automated emails, but we also set it up to where the additional fields you have set up on your referral screen, we can also add those to the emails. So if you had a field, let's say one of your fields says, was this kid in a placement uh, outside of your agency before? We can include what your staff puts in that field to the emails, or a field that says, was this kid placed with your agency before? That can be added to those emails. So we really added some really good information to those automated emails. The next change we're going to be looking at is on the foster home screen, particularly the client and home link. We changed the sort order to that, so that you're going to see the currently placed clients at the top of the screen, and then everything else below that will be sorted by the placement date. So you're going to have the latest placements at the top, oldest placements at the bottom. We did not change the printable reports because nobody requested them to be changed, and we know that your auditing bodies are used to seeing those the way they are. So uh, we did a lot of work on our table maintenance page. The beta version's been out there for months now. We're making it the standard table maintenance page, so we'll be covering that in this video also. Next change uh, was on the print forms. I already told you about this. We just basically changed the word license to approval. So initial license date is initial approval date, so on and so forth. Um, Also on referrals. So uh, way the system sits right now, if a kid is receiving a service or if they're in a residential placement or a foster care placement, you can't add another referral right to those programs. Well, for services, that creates a problem because a client can receive multiple services. So for kids that are placed in service placements, you can enter as many referrals as you like now as they're receiving that services. So basically, you can actually get a kid receiving 5 different services, whereas before you'd kind of have to trick the system to do that. So, and the last change I'm going to cover is the client care module. Before, um, or right now, when you discharge a kid, all their client care items fall off the dashboards. So that's why a lot of you will have pending tasks set up for like a discharge summary. So when you place the kid, or when you discharge the kid, that pending task is based off the discharge. So it sets up a pending task to remind your staff to go to that client care module and complete that discharge summary. Well, we made a major change to where every client care item doesn't have to be based off of a discharge date, but it can be. But every client care item you can specify to leave on dashboards for, however many days you'd like them to stay on those dashboards after a kid is discharged. Where we see that really being a big thing is obviously anything based off a discharge, but also like a weekly home visit. Let's say the home visit was, or not a home visit is not a good example. Monthly status report. Let's say the kid was discharged on the 27th day of the month. Your staff don't run their monthly reports till um, the fourth day of the next month. Well, that kid's request wouldn't be on that dashboard. Well, now you can have the configuration tell the system to leave that on the caseworker's dashboard 5 days after discharge. And again, that's going to help reduce our reliance on pending tasks too. So those are the changes. So let's go ahead and go to the system and we're going to walk through these. So the first one we'll show you is on the caseworker homepage. So let me come over here. I'll go to my own caseworker homepage. Give a second for the dashboard to come up. Now this dashboard, the defaults on this is the client dashboard. But when they do their pullover menu, they have a thing here called requirements. All right. And presently the dashboard is not there. To look at all these requirements, they have to step through these one at a time. Well, remember these. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these. All right. So let's go ahead and click on dashboard. Here's those 8 items on the dashboard view. All right. So they can just switch to these. As far as the way all this works, it works the same way as it does on the client care module. We didn't invent new functionality to confuse everybody. So when you're on these tabs, if it's a date tracker thing, click on the expiration date, you can complete that. If it's a home requirement thing, click on the due date, you can complete that. Any name on here is a link. So if I click on Luke Groundwalker, system open that home details page up in a new tab. But you can see, so if I close that tab, now I'm right back to that. Same way if, on date tracker, if I click on a name, it's going to take you to the parent, because the date tracker stuff's tracked at a parent level. So that's going to take you to the parent home page. Okay. So the links are there. You can actually complete the items here. There are 2 new things on here, the person requirements and person training expiration. That's for those other people involved with homes. All right. If for some reason you complete this, let me go ahead and complete this. Just come when you come back here, you can see it's still sitting there. Just hit this refresh button and that'll actually go away. So yeah, see, it went away. So you can actually complete the items right from this dashboard. So that is the first new update. Let me go ahead and close that caseworker homepage. Go back to my PowerPoint show. The next change has to do with emails. So let's go ahead. I'm going to enter a placement. The automated emails sent when you make a placement. So I'm going to go ahead and find a kid never place. We'll use Percept Ball or Precept Ball. I'm going to go ahead and enter a referral. I'll go ahead and put a placement date needed too. State ID. Dating's good. Say homeless. Therapeutic foster care. Say it's emergency placement and safety concern for client. English. I'll go ahead and click that in this. There was past referrals, so let's go down here and pick a couple presenting issues. Right now, these, on the introduction, I said we can add uh, additional fields and include these on the actual email. Let me go ahead and type something. This is an additional field for circumstances. I don't know where that word came from. I want to save a little time by not typing as much. Oh, shoot. I hit the wrong key and it took me back. So let me get this set back up again. Okay, one more. Now, I'm going to go ahead and go straight in to make a placement. Let me click this box here too. We'll go ahead and make a placement, and then when I receive the email, I'm going to pull it over and let you see it. We'll put this child in the Baker home. We're going to make level 2 the caseworker, invoicing $34, no monthly rates, placement date today, level care, systematically fragile, $65. Now let's go ahead and make this placement, and then here in a second my email is going to ding, and I will pull that email over so you can see it. Okay, and there it is, and here's the email. So now you can see that we added quite a few fields to this. And then more importantly, down here at the bottom are those additional fields that we added to that referral screen. Right, so here's the field name. If you remember, I just copied the name of the field and put it in the text boxes. So real nice functionality around those automated emails. Now there's something else that we did. If you're using where your intake people do what's called pending placements, and then you have people approve them, well, it used to be when the approval happened, the only email the system sent out was to the person that did the pending request. Now the system is also going to activate the email role placement ad, because a lot of our multi-branch partners have emails that they like to get to their accounting folks. So once that approval is made, if you're one of those types that have accounting folks in those email roles, they'll start getting the emails when the referrals or when the pending placements are actually approved. So okay, the next one is the foster home screen. So let's go ahead and we'll go look at the Groundwalker home. So I'm going to go find the home, find Luke. Pretty much everything I do with Luke Groundwalker. So now we're at the home details, and if we click on the client and home list, you'll see that at the top now we have the current clients. They'll always be at the top. It used to be you had to kind of watch the status field as you scroll down here to find the currently placed ones. So the way it's sorted now Anybody that's current is at the top, and we always put the latest placement date at the top. All right. So, and then for the kids that have been discharged, we sort by placement date from there out. So the newer placements at the top, older placements are at the bottom. Now, we did not change the printable report. I'm not going to open that up. You're all used to it. Nobody requested for that to be changed, and we figured your auditors are used to seeing it that way, so we just didn't want to go change that on you and then have your auditors bring that up to you in the middle of an audit. So on this, the change is in this client in home link. It'll show the current kids at the top. Okay, the next change is table maintenance. I'm going to save that for last, actually. I'm going to go show you the foster home requirements print form. So let's go down here to the requirement status. So we'll go look at this annual vehicle safety inspection. And all this change involves is on this where you see current license date, initial license date, or if it says license expiration date, the word license has been changed to approval. All right, some states they don't like that word license, they like the word approval. So if your state prefers approval, then all you have to do is go change the let me open this in a new tab. Go change the print form for those home requirements. I forget which one we were looking at. Annual vehicle safety inspection certification. So let me find that. Here it is. And the print form is this right here. So if you say approval instead of the standard one, now when I come back here, let me refresh this. Click on that completed date, hit the report. And now instead of saying license, it'll say approval. Let me go ahead and blow that up full screen. So you see the word license is replaced with approval. The license expiration date's not on this particular report. If it was, it would say approval expiration date. So that's the print forms for requirements. The next change we're going to talk about is what we did with referrals. So let me go ahead and come here and go to find a youth or find a client, and I'm going to just look for kids that are placed. All right, let's go ahead and search. So this change meant that before, if a kid was in foster care, residential, or services, you could enter a new referral, but you couldn't place them. All right. So like this foster care kid, I can come in here, I can enter a referral. If I go to place them, it's going to say, well, you notice there's no button here. All right. I can't click on place in known branch office. I just cannot make a placement. I can enter the referral, cannot make the placement. Same way if they were in residential, you'd come down here and there's no button. All right. But now if the kid is in services, I'm trying to think, Justin Believer, I believe, is a service kid. So now that the Justin here is in services, if you come down here, now you have the button. All right. So if a kid is in services, you can go ahead and add new referrals. You can add new referrals regardless. But if the kid is in foster care residential, you will not have this button on that referral screen. You can save it, or you can do another resolution, but you cannot place them. So this change pertains to that kids that are in services. The button will be here so that you can enter multiple active services on a kid. So that's the referral change. And the last one we want to look at, this you all should be excited about this one. We're trying to streamline our system. One of the things we looked at was how people are using pending tasks, and we noticed that there's a lot of stuff in pending tasks that are there because the dashboards, these dashboards for a supervisor. Let me go ahead and get the case manager opening up too. The dashboards are for a supervisor and a case manager. As soon as a client is discharged, their stuff fell off the dashboards. That client stuff fell off the dashboards. Which means if you're doing a discharge summary in the system, there was no way for people to remember to do that because the kids fell off these dashboards. Well, now when you set up a client care item, any client care item, you can say leave these items on the screen on the dashboards for 0 days, which means they're going to go off as soon as the kid is discharged. And you put in there 730 days. So let's say you discharged Mike, and the medical, optical, and dental exams were set up to stay on the dashboard 730 days after discharge. So these are going to be here for 2 years until they're completed, up to 2 years until they're completed. So once I complete it, now it won't be on the dashboard anymore, and eventually Mike would go away because all his stuff is caught up. And again, the big thing is before, as soon as you discharge the kid, the stuff would fall off. So what the biggest thing to illustrate what I'm talking about would be discharge summaries. So we'd set up a discharge summary in a client care module. You're cruising along, kid is discharged. So the system finally activates that discharge summary because it's based off a discharge date, but the kid's no longer on the dashboard. So we'd had to set up pending tasks to remind you to do that discharge. Okay. So today, once this releases in the production box, we can go in and change these items to say keep this on the dashboard for up to 30 days after discharge or whatever, especially for the discharge summaries. So to show you where you would do that, it goes right into my next item for this release, and that's table maintenance. So let me close some of these and show you the new table maintenance page. So this is the new table maintenance page. All right. So when you first come in here, it looks like this. So we have categories over here. So if you want to look for something on this table maintenance page and you know it's in the financial area of the system, click on that. If you know it has something to do with foster home parent stuff, do that, so on and so forth. The easiest way to use this new table maintenance page is if you know what you're looking for. So like services requested on that referral screen. If you just start typing in your services, all right, it's going to go out and find it for you. And what this search will look for, it will look for the name of the lookup table. It will look in the description. And in the description, we tried to put the actual field names in the description. What you see on the screen for these lookup lists is what we tried to make sure was part of the description. So if you just look at that field name on the screen, then you can see that. All right, now the old table maintenance page, for those that you were on it, if you remember, there was two list of items. All right, and you click on something, it was very cumbersome, it was hard to use. Everything on this new table maintenance page, when you go to do something and you click on it, it's going to either open in a new tab or there's going to be a pop-up window. As soon as you're done, just close it and you're right back to the table maintenance page. Okay, so it's very simple to use. Let's go look at the client care stuff so I can show you how to set a client care item up for to show on the dashboards after discharge. So we're going to come in here, we're going to go to a client care item, but then I got to pick the setup. Right now in most of your systems you're going to see case management setup agency 1 or 2 or 90 or 180. Anyhow, you have some special case management agencies in here, and that's where you would go to find these things I'm getting ready to show you. For this example, I'm going to use foster care agency Ohio style invoice. Come here, and here's the client care items. Okay, so on this particular agency, the stuff they're doing is birth certificate, dental exam, discharge summary, medical, optical, treatment plan, treatment status report, and treatment team meeting. What I'm going to do, I'm going to set up the dental, medical, and optical, the discharge summary, and the treatment status report to stay on dashboards for 30 days after a kid is discharged. So the first one I'm going to do is dental exam. I click on that edit pencil, and if you've ever been on this screen, this field is the new field. Okay, so if I wanted to be on there 30 days after discharge, I just type in here 30, right, hit save, and now that dental exam for any discharged kid will stay on that dashboard for 30 days after they're discharged. Okay, so you come in here, do the same thing for discharge summary. We'll set this to 30. Do it for medical exam. Make sure you hit save. You don't have to hit this execute button unless this is a brand new client care item. If I come up here and I add a brand new one that wasn't here before, let's say it was psychosocial assessment. So I'm adding that to the list. Well, you might have 30 kids already from that agency in care. You use this to turn that on for those 30 kids that are already in care. Okay, that's what that execute button is all about. Let me go ahead and take care of this optical exam again, and we'll turn it to 30 days. Hit save. Close that. And the last one I want to do was treatment status report. I'm going to change that to 30 days. Hit save. And we're done. Okay. Okay, so that's how you would change a client care item to be shown on dashboards after a kid is discharged. And then that brings us back to this new table maintenance page. This has been in production for quite some time. Well, it was the old one, right? But on the old one, there was a link that said if you want to see our beta version of this, click on here. And this was the beta version. So we got all the changes done. We got everything added to it. Some stuff that you couldn't get to before, like residential discharge reasons, they're on here now. So if you come in here, just type in residential, come down here. Now you can add, edit, and change your residential discharge reasons. Before you had to contact us for that. For foster homes, there's a thing called home status reasons, right? So you have a home status: active, inactive, pending, closed. Uh, well, then you have that status field for those. So here you can get to those and change those. Again, these are opening in a new tab. So once you're done, close it and you're right back to the other. Now we have everything you can get to now through table maintenance, the home investigation rules, home investigation results, home investigation, all those things you had to contact us before for these lookup lists are now on table maintenance. And again, the easiest way to do this is just come up here, look at the screen, figure out what field you want. So let me go to find a home real fast. Go to Ground Walker. Select that status field. All right. So here it is. It's a reason. All right. If this is status, that's a reason. So when you're on table maintenance, just start typing the field name. All right. And it will filter what you see over here based on what you type. Well, here's that home status reason. All right. So you can find it real quick and easy. Let's go back here. What's another one? Closure reason. School district. Let's go look for school districts. So if I come in here and just start typing school, there's the school district lookup. All right. So it makes it real easy. Just look at what you're looking at on the screen, and then from there you can easily find that lookup list. Let's go ahead and expand this out and go to details for parents. So we have marital status. All right. Come in here, just start typing marital, and there it is. So you can click on that, open a new tab, edit your values or add your new values. I don't recommend editing values. I don't recommend, if there's a delete button, deleting values. So let's say this domestic partnership, you were thinking you want to edit that. Don't edit that. Just make this one inactive. All right. Then add your new one. Okay. I don't know how you would edit domestic partnership, but let's say you want to call it the domestic partners instead of partnership. So just turn that one off add domestic partners, and just start using the new one. Here's the problem. When you edit these values, or if you delete them, there could be many, many records out there that are associated domestic partnership. Well, for some reason at that time it needed to say partnership. So if you just edit this and you look back at those records, now it's going to say domestic partner. Or if you deleted the value, now it can't even find the value at all. So just be careful on how you're doing those. But the new table maintenance page really makes it easy to find what you're looking for. And for those of you that have used the old table maintenance page, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So, okay, that concludes this presentation. Thank you.